My first ever video on this channel, I'm Joseph, and as you could probably tell by the title, I'm starting to learn Japanese. I wanted to make this channel because I wanted to document my entire journey, and also I wanted to use this channel as a way to keep myself accountable and constantly learning. The main reason that I want to learn Japanese is because I really am interested in learning languages. Pretty much 90% of my YouTube feed is just all about learning languages, and I'm just constantly watching videos on it. And recently I've seen a lot of videos that are specifically Japanese related. Also, I consume a lot of Japanese content. I started listening to Japanese music a little bit recently, but I think that's literally just because I've been thinking about starting to study Japanese. But obviously I've watched a lot of anime, and I still watch anime right now. I think the main thing that inspired me was probably Trenton's video on learning Japanese and why it's not as hard as people make it out to be. I'm pretty confident that I can learn another language because I've already learned half of one. English isn't my only language. Também eu posso falar português do Brasil. Eu aprendi esse idioma escutando para música brasileira. Toda vez que eu escuto para uma música que eu nunca ouvi, ou só uma música que eu gosto, eu boto no tradutor as letras e eu aprendi as palavras e as letras da música assim. Porque eu estava escutando para tanta música, eu comecei a lembrar as palavras mais faladas do idioma, tipo ser, estar, eu, você, ficar, palavras assim, e eu comecei a entender. Eu não só estava lembrando o que eu botei no tradutor, mas eu estava lembrando que as palavras significam sem estudando, sem escola, sem tudo disso. Eu estava aprendendo o meu idioma. E quando eu fiz isso, eu fiquei muito feliz, né? Porque eu estava aprendendo o meu idioma praticamente sem fazendo nada. Eu tava escutando a música e eu tava aprendendo uma idioma que eu posso usar, porque o meu melhor amigo, ele é brasileiro. Eu fico com ele e a família dele quase todo fim de semana. Eu tô escutando para português quase toda semana. Então, eu aprendi assim. Eu acho que foi aqui que eu comecei a entender que eu adoro de aprender idiomas e eu adoro de aprender das culturas do mundo e que eu quero viajar. And speaking of travel, I think one of the main reasons that I want to learn Japanese is because I want to go to Japan. I think it would be really cool to go to Japan. I want to go to a lot of Asian countries, specifically in that eastern region. I think the southern the southern countries as well, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, that region. I think that region is really interesting just because it's so different than the US. Really just the customs of the people in Asia are really different from the customs of the people in the West, which I think is just a fact that's known. So I'm really interested in traveling to the other side of the world, but I think it would be a lot cooler. I specifically want to go to Japan, and I think it would be a lot cooler if I could actually communicate with natives, or communicate with, citizens in their native language. I'm not going to a new continent and seeing indigenous people, but I'm going to see citizens, and I want to be able to talk to them in their native language because I know that whenever I'm speaking in English, I'm a lot more expressive and I feel a lot more confident, and I feel a lot more I feel a greater ability to be polite. I have a lot more control over how respectful I'm being to someone. Not that I'm going to be disrespectful, but more just I can be polite and I can crack jokes and I can have small talk in English a lot easier than for say Portuguese. And I want to get to that level in Japanese, and that's why I plan to study the entire year, and I'm going to constantly post videos on here. And eventually, hopefully if I get to a point where I'm conversational and I've learned a lot, I want to start making videos helping you guys learn Japanese as well. When I was making this channel, I was thinking about, should I brand this as a language learning channel or should I brand this as a Japanese learning channel? But I think just so I can stick to one language and really have my focus on Japanese, because I'm pretty much to a point in Portuguese now where I can learn it pretty passively. I can just consume content and understand most of it and get new words, new phrases, new concepts out of just understanding media. So pretty much I just watch stuff in Portuguese or continue listening to music, and I can learn a lot more. But I want to get to the point in Japanese where I'm there too. So I think I want to stick my focus on Japanese instead of just using watching a TV show in Portuguese as a way of saying, well, I don't need to study Japanese because I'm studying a language right now. But I will, if you guys want me to, I will make a pretty in-depth video about the method that I used, though I talked about it, the method that I used to learn Portuguese, because I think it was specific. But when I said specifically, it was in music and learning, I think that's really specific, but it's in general basically just an immersion method. I wanted to give a really big shout out to Trenton and his video. It's going to be the first link in the description. I think it's something Japanese isn't actually that hard or something like that, but it's a really good video. I've rewatched it like 3 times now because I watched it the first time, then I came back to it, and then I was like, wait, I actually kind of want to learn Japanese. So then I came back to it the third time. But it's a video, I want to go ahead and tell you very clearly, it's a video about how you should teach yourself, and not a video about him teaching you. He doesn't teach you anything, but I just wanted to give a really big shout out to him in his video, and I think you should check that out if you want to learn, if you want to get the best tips out of an immersion method, because though I have learned a decent amount of Portuguese, so I can understand a lot of Portuguese, and there's still a lot of things that I can't understand, especially in conversation. So I would just say, generally, check out that video if you want to learn a language, specifically using the most fun method, because I think sitting down using a textbook and studying grammar is the most boring thing ever. It literally feels like a chore no matter how much you love the language. But yeah, I hope that I can stick to this. If you guys are learning a language right now and you've watched all the way to the end, which probably hasn't happened for anyone, comment down below, what language you're learning, how long you've been learning it. Just tell me a little bit about you, because this channel is less of an entertainment channel and more of a way to keep me accountable. So I don't expect much from you guys just watching the videos. I kind of want to build like a little bit of community in the comments of language learners, especially if you're learning Japanese, because I want to know, like, if you have any tips for me of, like, even if you're not learning a language, tell me about a language that you might want to learn. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think I've been learning hiragana for like a day, but yeah, I'm still learning the alphabet right now. I'll probably have a video where I'm actually trying to, like, express what I've learned, because right now I haven't really learned anything. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about my journey and introduce myself to you guys. So yeah, later.